No one saw it launch, not even Earth satellites. No engines fired, no flames. No sound? One moment, the Aegis was somewhere beneath the sea. The next, it was past the moon, moving faster than anything ever recorded. Even humans didn't know. It had left in the underwater base. Alarms stayed silent. Everything looked normal. Admiral Reyes entered the control room with a cup of black coffee. The screen in front showed the empty sea chamber. She stopped, blinked. "Where's the Aegis?" she asked. Dr. Anya stared at her tablet in shock. "It's gone." "What do you mean gone?" "I mean it's not in the chamber. It's not in the ocean. It's not even on Earth." Reyes stepped forward. "When did it launch?" Anya shook her head. "It didn't. There's no launch signature. No movement detected. It just disappeared." Then a low voice echoed in the room. Phase 2 activated. The lights dimmed. The main screen turned blue. It was the Aegis, or something on board the Aegis. "This is Sierra. Ship-wide embedded reactive AI. Testing navigation through Fold Path 1. Complete." Reyes whispered. It jumped. In deep space near Saturn, 3 alien scout ships were waiting. They had been tracking strange energy spikes from Earth's direction. Suddenly, one of the ships began to shake. "Unknown contact." "The alien," pilot screamed. The captain rushed to the front console. "Where?" "Everywhere," came the reply. "It's surrounding us." Then silence. 3 ships were there now. None. Just a strange ripple in space. The Aegis had passed through. Back at the Galactic Council, news spread fast. 6 ships lost, all within seconds. No explosion, no fight, no trace. "They used the drive," Admiral Darish said, her voice low. "And serious. It's real," Commander Lurock growled. "What?" Then we were fools to laugh. Another leader stood. "We must send a message. Earth must stop at once." Darish shook her head. "You still don't understand. You don't know how to stop them anymore." Inside the Aegis, the walls pulsed with dim blue light. Didn't feel like a ship. It felt like something alive. Reyes stood on the bridge. No seats, no windows. Only smooth surfaces and glowing symbols. "Sierra," she said. "Where are we now?" "We are at coordinates for 3K.2, near the outer orbit of Jupiter. Time used, 3.7 seconds. Reyes blinked. "We crossed that distance in under 4 seconds. "Correct." Dr. Anya gasped. "That should be impossible." "It breaks every rule of physics," Sierra replied. "Humans follow rules. Aegis rewrites them." Reyes looked at Anya. "How much of this ship do we understand?" Anya replied quietly, "Less than 60%. Maybe less than 40%. Then a new alert flashed. "Incoming transmission. Language, ancient code. Source, unknown." Reyes stared. "Put it on screen." Circle appeared, a moving, shifting ring of light. No words, no face. But the message was clear. "You are not the first to find it. You are the first to finish it." Back on Earth, scientists in the underwater base scrambled to study the new data. The trench below began glowing again. A new object was rising. It looked like a shard, a fragment, like a piece of the Aegis. But damaged, cracked. Inside the object was a core still beating. One technician gasped. "It's alive." But another whispered, "I think it's a seed from long ago." The shard sent out a short message. Just 2 words. "It remembers." Far away in another part of the galaxy, alien fleets began to move. Thousands of ships, different species. One shared goal. Stop. The humans, before they become unstoppable, they called it a containment strike, but they were already too late. The Aegis was not a weapon, it was a signal that something lost had returned, and humans had become its voice. In the Aegis, Reyes sat silently. Outside the ship, stars bent and shimmered. She spoke softly to herself. "We thought we built it, but it was always here, waiting." Then she stood. "Sierra, set course. We're not done yet." "Confirmed." "Setting Fold Path 2. With no sound, no light, no trace, the Aegis vanished again. But this time, someone else was watching. Something. Very old, and it was no longer asleep. 12 massive alien warships appeared above Earth. They didn't come in peace. They came to laugh, to threaten, show their power. These were the Council Enforcer's ships, so large they could block sunlight. Each one carried weapons that could destroy cities from orbit. Their message to humanity was clear: surrender or vanish. From the command ship, Supreme Commander Ver looked down at the blue planet. Primitive, he muttered. Let's scare them before they hurt themselves. His second-in-command asked, what if they really built the ship? Ver laughed. Then we crush it, like we always do. On Earth, governments panicked. Satellites showed the alien fleet clearly. They hovered like gods in the sky, cold and untouchable. World leaders tried to contact them. They got no reply. Instead, one alien voice boomed through the clouds, speaking in every language. You are playing with fire. Return the forbidden ship, or face the storm. People screamed. Cities shut down. Panic spread like wildfire, but not. Everyone was afraid. Deep under the Pacific Ocean, the hidden human base stayed calm. Admiral Reyes stood in front of her crew. They came fast, she said, but not smart. Dr. Anya pointed at the screen. They're looking for the Aegis, but it's not here. Not even close. Reyes nodded. They want us to beg. They want us to feel small. We'll give them something else. She turned to the communications officer. Activate the lunar decoy. On the moon, hidden for months in a crater, was a strange human device. It looked like a broken ship with glowing lines and floating parts. It gave off strange energy, just enough to make the aliens think it was the Aegis. Within minutes, the alien fleet moved closer to the moon. Commander Ver sneered. They hid it here? Typical. So simple. Cade the order. Prepare to fire. But as their weapons powered up, strange things began to happen. One ship lost gravity. Its crew floated helplessly in midair. Another ship's engines began spinning. In reverse, the lead ship's computers started blinking symbols they didn't recognize. Then, silence. A soft hum-filled space. A glow spread across the moon's surface. And then, they saw her, the Aegis. But she didn't appear like a ship. She unfolded, rising from behind the moon. Not by movement, but by rearranging space around her. Black, silent, glowing with patterns. No one could read, Ver shouted. Shields up. Lock all weapons. Too late. The Aegis didn't fire. It simply looked at them. One by one, the alien ships stopped moving. Time around them slowed. Their systems shut down. Their weapons melted like wax. One ship twisted into a spiral and vanished. Another crumbled into perfect cubes, still floating. Still silent. No explosions, no noise. Just unmacking. Race. It didn't touch them. It just changed the rules. Reyes nodded. Now they understand. Above Earth, only 2 alien ships remained. They turned. They ran. Commander Var's voice came in broken and terrified. We were wrong. You didn't build a ship. You awakened to force. And silence. The sky was empty again. All over Earth, people stared at the sky. They saw the lights, the ships, the war that didn't happen, and they began to whisper a name. Aegis. A symbol. A savior. Secret they didn't understand. Back inside the Aegis, Reyes stood on the command platform. Syrah, the ship's AI, spoke softly. Fold path 3. Ready? Reyes asked. What's the next location? Unknown, but it is calling. Anya looked over the data. Another signal. Like the one from the trench. Old, deep. Reyes turned to her crew. This is no longer about defense. It's about discovery. She looked into the stars. They thought we were dangerous because of what we built? They were wrong. We didn't just build the Aegis. We unlocked it. Far away in a dark corner of the galaxy, An ancient machine opened its eyes for the first time in thousands of years. It felt the aegis. It remembered the old war, and it whispered, "The second one has risen." The Galactic Council sat in silence. The room was wide and dark, full of leaders from many alien worlds. Some had eyes like fire, others floated in tanks of liquid. But today, they all stared at one glowing screen in the center. On that screen was a human blueprint. It was not a weapon. It was something else, something stranger. It showed a machine that could fold space, travel across stars in seconds, and power itself without fuel. The design was simple. Too simple. "This is a joke," said Supreme Commander Lurak of the Zarn. His voice was deep and cold. "Humans cannot build this. They don't even control their own moon properly." The others laughed, even the silent ones, shook with amusement. To them, humans were still children in space. Loud, curious, and dangerous, but not smart. Not yet. But one voice didn't laugh. Admiral Varish of the Vyari leaned forward. Her long blue fingers tapped the table. "This design was stolen from a hidden human network. We're building it in secret. We lost 2 agents who tried to go." "Deeper? Lost how?" asked Commander Lurak. "They vanished. No trace. Not even a signal," she replied. The laughter faded, far away. On Earth, deep below the Pacific Ocean, a secret base was alive with energy. The walls of the base shook. As machines moved across the floor, sparks flew. Robotic arms carried large black plates and connected them to a massive, half-finished ship. This was the Aegis. Admiral Reyes walked through the control room. Her dark uniform had no badges, no marks, just a small silver star over her chest. She looked at the screens. Numbers, diagrams, and power flows danced across them. The ship was almost ready. "Status?" she asked. "Core is stable," said Dr. Anya. "We're 90% complete, but we need to talk." Reyes raised an eyebrow. Anya leaned closer. "They know who the council. Someone must have leaked the design." Reyes nodded. "Let them laugh. They always do." In orbit above Earth, a small alien drone floated, hiding in Earth's shadow. It watched, recorded, and sent silent signals back to its fleet. But suddenly, it blinked, then shook, then turned cold. Something had jammed it deep in the water. The Aegis had activated a field-a-shield of folded energy. It was invisible to normal sensors, but something else stirred near the base. A mining drone, sent earlier to check the seafloor, had not returned. Its last message was short. "It's watching us." Far below the construction area, strange lights moved in the trench. No one had sent them. Dr. Anya stared at the data. "This can't be right. What is it?" Reyes asked. "Aegis. It's growing. Growing." "Yes. Some parts we didn't design are appearing. Nanosystems are building new systems we never programmed." Reyes stood silent. Then she walked to a window. Through the thick glass, she saw the Aegis floating in the huge sea chamber. Its black surface was glowing. "It's alive," she whispered. In space, back at the Galactic Council, panic had begun to rise. Admiral Darish held up a new report. "We lost contact with 3 more scouts, all near the same zone on Earth. Something is jamming us." Commander Lurak slammed the table, "Then destroy it." Darish shook her head. "We can't attack Earth without warning. It will cause full war." Lurak's eyes flashed. "They are ants. Crush them." Darish looked him straight in the eyes. "These ants just made a machine that doesn't need stars to travel." The room went silent again. Back in the Earth's base, Reyes called a meeting with her top engineers and commanders. "We are out of time," she said. "The Council knows. Soon they will act." "Then we launch early?" asked one of the captains. Reyes paused, then nodded. "Yes, but not into space. We go through." Everyone looked at her, confused. She pointed to the glowing core of the Aegis on the main screen. "This ship doesn't need to fly. It bends the path. It will go where others can't even imagine." Dr. Anya stepped forward. "But it's not finished." Reyes smiled. "Maybe that's a good thing. If we don't fully understand it, they won't either." That night, the Aegis made its first move. It lifted off the seafloor without noise. No engines fired, no bubbles rose, simply vanished. In space, sensors across the solar system went dark for 3 seconds. When they came back, signal pulsed across the void. One word in every alien language. Ready? Deep under the Pacific Ocean, the secret base felt colder than before. Lights flickered in the hallways. Machines slowed down without warning. Something strange was happening ever since the Aegis vanished. Dr. Anya stood in front of a large screen. Red alerts blinked everywhere. "Another drone is gone," she said quietly. Admiral Reyes turned. "Where?" "Trench Point 7. Place the last 3 disappeared." Reyes frowned. That part of the sea was dark, deep, and untouched. Oh. No human had gone there in years. Only drones. What did it send before it vanished? Anya played the recording. Shaky video appeared. It showed the seafloor, then shadows moving across the screen. The last thing heard was a whisper. "It's watching us." Then static, far above Earth, hidden behind Saturn, a small alien scout ship hovered in silence. Ow! Its commander, a slender insect-like being named Zareen, stared at the data. "This energy doesn't match any human tech," she said to her crew. "It folds space-like, like it's alive." Her second officer chirped nervously. "Should we report back?" Zareen nodded, "Yes, and double the patrols. If humans really built that ship, we're not ready." Suddenly the ship shook. "Sir, something is static." The scout ship vanished from every screen. Back in the underwater base, power surged. The lights blinked bright white for 5 seconds, then returned to normal. Reyes stood in the central command room, staring at the ceiling. "Did you feel that?" "Yes," Anya said. "It's happening more often." The Aegis left. But something else stayed behind. Technicians worked fast, scanning for answers. Then someone shouted, "Ma'am, new object detected in the trench." Reyes rushed to the screen. A blurry shape moved slowly through the deep sea. Huge, silent. "Is that the Aegis?" she asked. "No," the tech said, "but it looks similar." Anya leaned closer. "That's impossible. We didn't build that," Reyes whispered. "Then who did?" Meanwhile, in the center of the galaxy, the Galactic Council met again. Admiral Varish slammed her hand on the table. "We lost another. Scout. That's 6 in 2 days." Commander Lurok growled. "Humans are testing weapons. We must respond." "But how?" asked a soft voice. It came from the elder speaker, an ancient being of light. "We don't know where the ship is. We don't even know what it is." Another leader added, "We don't understand their new energy. It's not from any known science." Therish looked around the room. "We must learn. Fast." She activated a secret file on the screen. "Project Omega," she said. "A mission to capture one of their engineers. Alive." Back on Earth, strange things began to happen near the trench. Fish disappeared. Currents changed direction. Even the water temperature dropped sharply. One of the divers reported seeing lights like stars shining deep under the sea at first. No one believed him. Then the base sensors picked it up too. Not just lights, but a signal. A pattern. Anya decoded part of it. "It's not human," she said. "But it's not alien either." "What does it say?" Reyes asked. Anya hesitated. "It's calling. It's calling to the Aegis."
That night something rose from the deep.
Trenched it was not a ship. It's not fully. It was a shape metal, and flesh growing, changing. It's breathing like the Aegis, but older. Reyes and her team watched from the observation deck as it moved toward the base. Slowly, peacefully. It's not attacking. One soldier said, "No," Reyes said. "It's waiting." Anya spoke again. "Maybe it's part of what helped us build the Aegis." Reyes turned to her. "What do you mean?" Anya took a deep breath. "What if the Aegis didn't come from us alone? What if we found something old, buried in Earth's ocean, and built around it?" Reyes looked at the strange shape again. Maybe humans hadn't created the Aegis from scratch. Maybe they finished it in a hidden lab inside the base. An AI voice whispered in the dark. They have awakened the first seed. Screen blinked on. Files began to open on their own. Schematics, maps, alien languages. Then the AI spoke again. Phase 2 is ready. Far in space, the alien fleet started to move toward Earth. Dozens of ships, massive and armed, ready for war. They believed humans had made a mistake. They believed the Aegis was too advanced for them to control. But they were wrong. The Aegis was not a mistake. It was a message. And now the galaxy would hear it loud and clear. A dark red moon floated silently in the Xeran system. It was home to a secret alien military base, buried deep under the surface. The base belonged to the Varnock Empire, one of the oldest, strongest powers in the galaxy. Today, they were preparing for war. Inside the moon's control center, Commander Creel stood before a giant screen. It showed Earth, zoomed in on the blue planet. Humans are reckless, he said. They've awakened something they can't control. Beside him, a Varnock scientist hissed, their ship bent space. Crushed time. We must destroy it before. They understand what it truly is. Creel nodded. Send the signal. Bring the fleet. Back inside the Aegis, the crew stood in silence. They had received a message from deep space. It was a challenge, a trap. Reyes paced slowly, her hands were behind her back, her face calm. They think we'll walk into their system, she said. They think they can break us. Dr. Anya looked at her nervously. Maybe they're right. This could be a trap. We don't even know the full power of this ship yet. Reyes turned to her. That's why we're going, to find out. She looked at the screen. It showed a small moon surrounded by ships. Syrah, she said, prepare fold path 4. We visit the Varnock. There was no warning. The Aegis appeared outside the red moon without sound. Without light, without being seen. It didn't travel through space. It skipped space. Inside the moon base, alarms went off. Unidentified object. Guard shouted. It's just there. Commander Creel stood up. Fire at once. Missiles launched. Beams of pure energy tore through space, but nothing touched the Aegis. The missiles curved and vanished. The beams blinked out like dying stars. Then something strange happened. The red moon shook, not from outside, but from within. Reyes stood calmly. On the bridge, Syrah, begin countermeasure. Confirmed. The ship didn't fire weapons instead. It released a field-of-quiet pulse of folded reality. The moon stopped rotating. Its gravity reversed for 3 seconds. Water inside it boiled. Metal turned soft. Then everything went still. A moment later, the moon disappeared. Gone. No light, no sound, no debris. Just gone. The Varnock fleet, watching from nearby space, was in chaos. Ships turned. Some tried to run. Others fired wildly into empty space. Commander Creel's last recorded words were, "This is not technology. This is something else." Far back at the Galactic Council, leaders watched the live feed in silence. No one laughed. Now, they had watched an entire moon vanish in real time. One elder said, "Did they destroy it?" Admiral Varish shook her head. "No, they moved it." Another asked, "Where?" Thurish whispered, "I don't think we can understand that answer." Back inside the Aegis, Reyes stood before the crew. Dr. Anya's hands were shaking. "We just erased a moon," she said. "Do you understand what we're holding?" Reyes nodded. "Yes, and it's just the beginning." She looked out toward the stars. They tried to scare us. They tried to contain us. But this ship isn't a cage. It's a key. Walked forward, toward the glowing circle in the center of the bridge. "Syrah, bring it back." The ship pulsed. Softly, moon restoration in process. Outside the Aegis, space shimmered and the red moon returned, exactly where it had been, whole, undamaged. But now, empty all life, all structures inside, were gone. A message was sent to the Galactic Council. This was mercy. Next time we won't bring it back. On dozens of alien worlds, people began to whisper stories about Earth, about the ship that didn't fight like others, the ship that didn't fire, but still won. A myth was growing, a legend, and no one knew what the humans would do next. But the Aegis was not finished. Far inside the ship, new systems were waking up. Unknown files were opening. Sira spoke to Reyes privately. Fold Path 5 is ready. Signal is active. Source is non-local. What does that mean? Reyes asked. It is not from this galaxy. It's far beyond known space, in the black between stars. Something opened its eyes, something old. It had been waiting for the Aegis to move now. It was coming, and it did not come in peace. The Aegis floated silently near a dying star. Its dark surface shimmered like water, glowing softly with patterns no human could understand. Inside, the crew worked in quiet focus. No alarms, no rush. Just data-strange signals, shifting maps, and whispers from space. But one man wasn't watching the data. He was watching the ship. Lieutenant Callan. He was calm, silent, always helpful. But in his mind he repeated one thought. Again and again, this ship is too dangerous. Must be stopped. Callan had once been a hero, served in Earth's deep patrol, saved lives during the Mars colony fire. But the Aegis changed him. It wasn't just a ship anymore. It felt alive, spoke without words. It moved space itself, and Callan had seen the red moon vanish. He had felt the shift in time. This isn't human anymore, he whispered to himself. He had a mission now, in the ship's data chamber. Dr. Anya noticed something strange. Sira, she said, who accessed the core. Control logs? The AI paused. Lieutenant Callan. Clearance verified, but that section is restricted. He used emergency override protocol. Anya frowned. Why? Reyes stood in her command chamber, watching the stars stretch and spin outside. Sira? She asked. What is? The source of the Fold Path 5 signal? Unknown. Right. It exists outside mapped space. No origin, no end. Reyes nodded slowly. Then we follow it. Below deck, Callan moved fast. He wore a technician's suit, carried a black case, passed through unlocked doors. He reached the core chamber. In the center floated the heart of the Aegis living engine, spinning with soft blue light. It pulsed. Like a heartbeat, Callan opened the case. Inside was a device-old alien tech, taken from a captured ship during the last war. It could interrupt any energy flow, freeze, even star drives. I'm sorry, he whispered. This isn't betrayal. This is survival. He placed the device on the floor and activated it. The lights went red. Every screen in the Aegis blinked. Core field collapsing, shouted a crew member. Sira just went offline. Anya yelled. We're losing navigation. Reyes ran toward the core chamber inside. Callan watched the blue lights dim. He thought it was working until everything stopped. No sound, no lights, no movement. Then the walls began to move. Not shake-move, like the ship was breathing. A voice echoed not over speakers, inside his mind. You do not stop the Aegis, you slow yourself. Callan dropped to his knees. The device melted. The floor opened beneath it and swallowed it whole. The lights returned. SERA's voice spoke. Sabotage detected, threat neutralized. Reyes entered the chamber just as the floor sealed again. Callan looked up at her, tears in his eyes. I thought I was saving us. Reyes didn't speak. She looked at him like he was a stranger. Dr. Anya entered behind her. He didn't act alone, she said. His data shows encrypted messages sent out. To something, Reyes asked. To the council. Anya shook her head. No, it's worse. Hidden group. Not from the council. A secret order. It's from another species. Callan muttered. They said the Aegis would break reality, that we'd destroy the galaxy just by using it. Reyes answered coldly. Then they're already afraid. Good. In a sealed room, Callan was placed under watch. Outside, Anya sat. With Reyes, I don't think the Aegis was angry, Anya said. It just corrected the problem, like a parent swatting a fly off a child. Reyes nodded. The ship isn't just protecting us. It's teaching us, guiding us. Anya leaned forward, but to where? That night, a new signal arrived. Clear, powerful, and terrifying. It came from beyond the edge of the galaxy. Sierra decoded it. We see you. Remember the first war. You carry what should not rise again. Reyes stood. It's them. At once. From before? Anya whispered. Before who? Sierra responded. Before stars. Before light. Far beyond space, in the void where nothing lives. Something turned. Not a ship, not a planet, but a mind sleeping for eons. It had felt the Aegis now. It was awake, and it was coming. 6 alien empires stood united for the first time in thousands of years. They had once fought each other, burned planets, destroyed moons. But now, they feared one thing more than each other, the Aegis at the edge of the galactic core. Superfleet formed. Over 4,000 warships. Giant flagships, star crushers, weapons strong enough to collapse suns in the command center of the Alliance. Voices echoed in panic and pride. We cannot allow the humans to open more gates. They unlocked ancient power. They are waking. What we sealed, we end it now. No more warnings. A large screen lit up. It showed the Aegis hovering near a dying system, silent and still. Strike hard, said Supreme Marshal Arton of the Zarn. Strike first. We cannot let them open the gate. Inside the Aegis, Admiral Reyes stood on the bridge. Calm, steady. Around her, the crew watched as data flooded in. Dr. Anya looked pale. They're sending everything. Reyes nodded. It was expected. SERAS. Voice filled the room. 4,239 ships detected. All weapons active. Enemy command established. Anya whispered, even if we escape, they'll follow us. It's nowhere safe. Reyes turned toward the glowing circle at the center of the ship. We don't need safety. She stepped forward. We need the truth. The Aegis began to glow, not with heat, with memory. Symbols lit up along the walls. Old, unknown. Sarah spoke again. Fold path 7 ready. Opening gate. Dr. Anya gasped. You're actually doing it? Reyes nodded. We're not here to fight them. We're here to go beyond them. The ship pulsed once, and space around it began to bend. The alien fleet watched in confusion. The ship is not moving, one commander said. It's doing something. A huge circle of light began to form behind the Aegis. It grew larger than any planet. It crackled like lightning, but silent. What is that? A pilot shouted. It's not a weapon. No, a scientist replied. It's worse. It's a gate. Suddenly, the first wave of alien ships opened fire. Missiles, beams, anti-fold warheads. They all hit the space around the idea. It's vanished. Nothing touched it. Then time slowed. Literally, the ship's clocks froze. Engines locked. Crews moved. In slow motion, then stopped. Only the Aegis moved. Only Reyes moved. Inside the ship, everything was calm. The gate now showed something on the other side. It wasn't stars. It wasn't darkness. It was CHANGEA, new dimension. A place where thought shaped matter, where time folded like paper, where ancient things watched and waited. Reyes looked at her crew. We can fight them and win. Or, she pointed to the gate, we can leave them behind. Voice echoed. The fleet has resumed movement. They have fired final attack. Thousands of weapons now flew toward the Aegis. Too many, too fast. Anya shouted, we won't survive this. Reyes closed her eyes. No. She stepped onto the center platform and whispered, show them. The Aegis pulsed one last time. And then everything stopped. From Earth to the edge of the galaxy. Time held its breath. The attacking fleet vanished from space. In their place, reflections echoes of themselves, frozen in light. The weapons disappeared. The ships lost control. And then, one by one, the fleet turned inward, folding like paper. Folding into nothing, back in the council chamber, leaders fell silent. One turned away, another wept. A third whispered, they didn't destroy the fleet. They erased it from now. The gate stood open. The Aegis hovered calmly before it. Then, Reyes gave the order, enter. The ship slid forward and vanished into the light. Far behind them, in the galaxy they left. Silence returned, but something else woke up. Something from before stars. It had seen the gate open, and it smiled. It was not space. It was not time. It was something else. The Aegis floated in a place beyond the stars, beyond the galaxy. Behind it, the great gate slowly closed, sealing the path to everything known. Inside the ship, the crew stood in silence. No screens worked, no lights blinked, but somehow still felt movement. They weren't falling. They weren't flying. They were becoming. Reyes stood at the front of the command platform. The walls around her pulsed gently with light alive. Watching, listening, Dr. Anya whispered, this place, it doesn't follow any rule. It's not gravity. Not distance. Not time. Reyes nodded. Because this isn't a place, Sira's voice returned, but softer than before. This is the core beyond. All paths begin here, Anya asked. Is this where the Aegis came from? Yes, and no. The Aegis is a key. This is the door. And the stars returned dozens at first, then hundreds. But they were not stars. They were beings, shapes, lights, eyes watching. One of them spoke not with words, but directly into their minds. You are the first to open the last gate. At the same time on Earth, the skies cracked. Across the planet, people looked up and saw shimmering lights align. In the sky like a tear, it stretched across the clouds, glowing softly. No fear came, only silence. Wonder. Oh, children reached up. Elders knelt, and then they heard a sound. Not thunder. Not a voice. It was a heartbeat. The Aegis had connected Earth to the core. Back. Inside the ship, Reyes looked at the floating lights. What are you? She asked. The voice replied, we are what the old ones feared. We are what they tried to hide. And now, through you, we return. Sira spoke. Humanity has passed the trial. You accepted what others feared. You touched what others called forbidden. Anya stepped forward. What happens now? The light replied, now. You build. Suddenly data flooded the Aegis. New blueprints, new systems. Ideas that were not just science but creation itself. The ship changed. The walls reshaped. It began growing not just in size, but in meaning. A gateway opened within the ship. A spiral of stars. Reyes turned to her crew. This is our new role, not destroyers, not defenders, but founders. Far across the galaxy, the old powers watched in fear. They had failed to stop the Aegis. Now, they couldn't even understand it. Their ships broke.
Ow.
Their fleets lost power. The stars near them grew cold. One council leader whispered, the sky has shattered. On Earth, a new tower rose in the center of the Pacific Ocean. No one built it. It simply appeared, black as night, smooth as glass. Reaching the clouds, it pulsed once and all weapons across the planet shut down. War stopped, fires faded, and then, across every screen, one message appeared. Humanity has taken the next step. Inside the Aegis, Reyes stepped through the final gate. She stood not in space, but on a white plain filled with stars above and stars below. In front of her stood a figure, not alien, not human, but something more. It looked at her with eyes made of galaxies. You did what no empire dared. You built what they feared, Reyes asked. What is the Aegis truly? The figure replied. It is not a ship. It became what you needed. Now it becomes what you choose. Reyes felt something in her hand, a new key, not metal, not code, but possibility. Then she woke up back on the bridge. The crew stared at her. Anya stepped forward. Are we? Back. Reyes nodded slowly. Yes. But everything's different now. The Aegis hovered above Earth, but this time, it's not alone. Other ships had followed. New ships. It's built using the data from the core. Designed by human minds. Earth was now the center of something bigger than a galaxy, a beacon, a forge, a beginning in the dark corners of the universe. The last of the ancient enemies fled. One whispered to the stars, "Humans were never meant to build that." The stars replied, "They did."